Hey everyone, how are you doing? Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. I'm going to be conducting a general reading for the collective, and just to let you know, it's timeless, general, take what resonates and leave the rest behind. So let's get stuck in without further ado. Let's get into this. Now, I've been thinking, since the last day or two, a couple of days, about the uprise, the rising up, the awakening, and also about the way how things are at the moment. And I was just shuffling the deck. This is the deck I'm going to be using for the reading. Let me just sort of listen slightly. And my mind went to the Cross of St. George flag. But it wasn't about just England only. It was about more to do with the Knights Templar, Crusades, and how they originally kind of, were formed, which is about defending the Holy Grail, but the Holy Grail was giving me more of the sacred womb, the sacred feminine. And this card pops out in an upright position. So, as usual, I just had to stop and get the camera rolling so that we can continue with this reading, because it was just giving me this feeling of an awakening that's really rising up against, it's rising up against the distorted patriarchal system. But it's taking a divine masculine who's awakening to do this as well, to help to defend and restore the sacred feminine. So let's get into this a little bit more. It's judgment air. This has to, it's like they're the last hope kind of thing. Okay. Now remember, just take what resonates, leave the rest. We've got interesting, we've got the Hierophant that I'm getting sent by God. Also saw just now the King of Cups energy. So there's a real, something that's happening, okay, right now as we speak, and it's all to do with what's going on, this bloody chaos that's unfolding. And I'm really getting this. I don't know if you guys remember this film called Kingdom of Heaven. It was, I think 2004 it came out, and it was all to do with, the Knights Templar, the Crusades, and, against the Muslim army at the time. But it was just giving me this feeling of awakening up and defending. Okay. And it will, not trying to sort of incite violence here, but the way how things are going, this is a battle that must be won by those who stand for the light and not the dark. And it's becoming, as you may have realized and noticed and felt, it's not just about what's going on outside of you, but it's like the rising up within you, and the return of the divine masculine, who is in this kind of crusader energy to defend and protect the sacred feminine. And it's it's about time, let's go, let's do this. So let's get in and see what this is about. I'm going to give this deck a really good shuffle. You already saw the Hierophant, you already saw the Five of Wands. I told you about the King of Cups. They were all in the upright position. But I just want to give this a really good shuffle to see what else we've got going on here. Alright. Remember guys, this is just, a general reading. So whatever's going to be sort of brought out here doesn't necessarily mean to say that it's going to happen. It's just a snapshot of a particular timeline, and it feels as if the timeline that we're on right now. So let's go. Deck has already been shuffled. They want me to cut again. Okay. Cut the deck in half and stack. All right. So let's go. We have got the Three of Cups in the upright position. So this is about celebration. This is giving me, in conjunction with the Judgment card, this is giving me victory here. This is giving me unity. This is giving me, like, guys, you all need to wake up. If you notice how kind of separated people are, divided and separated, divided and conquered. But now is the time for you all to start to come together, to really start to rise up and form this almost like God's army. Okay, the next guard. I was going to say the next card, but it came out as the next guard. It's almost like the next generation of this crusader type energy. It's like the next in line. This is really interesting. The old guard that's sort of passing on the torch. I know these are chalices, cups, but they can also be like torches. Passing on the torch to those who are ready, willing and able to stand up and defend and fight and protect what you're divinely given. Okay? Rightly protecting what's yours. This is a really strong energy. The next card that we've got is the Two of Swords in the upright position. So this is using, like, making that decision, making that choice. And there's also a bit of it's giving me this kind of like crossroads energy as well. Because as we know, the ending isn't going to be for everyone. And it's going to come down to a choice. And I also feel for those who may have been sitting on the fence for a while, like almost like refusing to see what was really going on, may start to emotionally feel something within them, and they may decide, well, you know what, I feel that we need to all start to really come together, stepping out from, their cave or getting off of the fence, and no longer staying in that grey area. It's either you are with us or you are against us. And it's as simple as that. It's really giving me the abstract of, it's either, not so much, when I say black versus white, I'm not going with the colour of the skin, so don't get triggered. This is about light versus dark, yin and yang, balance. Okay? The next card that we've got is the Page of Wands in reverse. Now, as I said, some people are not going to be on board, and some people will. Now, in this case, with the Page of Wands that's in the reverse, if he was in an upright position, he would really be looking away from all of this. Because he's not really interested. However, it's in the reverse, and he's facing this way. And it's almost giving me this feeling of what's going on inside, and whether or not this is the best course of action to take. Like really, like this waking up, this rising up. And to be honest, this flag means more than what the 3D mindset means. It means more than that. This is really giving spiritual warfare energy. So the next card that we've got is the Page of Swords. Again, all of these cards are pointing, their heads are pointing in this direction, like everyone is waking up and receiving this call from above. This is and also if you notice, this is the only, at this precise moment in time, it's the only major arcana card. So this is a major, great, powerful awakening that's ensuing right now. You're either with us or you're against us. And it's given people who, you might say the unawakened ones or the normies, the power of choice, like the time to decide on what the hell they're going to do. You're going to band together, so these three separate bodies can look as if they were coming together here. Right? United we stand, or divided we fall. What's it going to be? The card underneath the bottom of the deck is the Empress in the reverse. This is the sacred feminine. This is the divine feminine that is suppressed. So what are we going to do? She needs to be restored so that she can help to balance out the distorted masculine, so that we can have back this beautiful divine union between the feminine and the masculine. Yes, in terms of the energy, but also the physicality, the gender, if you like. Bring about union. So let's expand on this interesting reading. Let's expand. You know what, I'm not going to, sorry, hold on guys. I'm going to continue to use this deck, but I've got another, but it's a holographic deck. And I'm not really keen on using it that much, but I feel for this. And this was the first card that came out as well. This is the Wheel of Fortune. But again, I'm going to just give it a good shuffle. I just took it out the deck. So the Wheel of Fortune in the upright position is giving me the time is now. Okay, the time is now. Right, so guys, just showing you again 3 cards that popped out. Knight of Wands, 2 of Pentacles, and then reverse the World card in the reverse. Just showing these cards that are pre-shuffled. It's kind of giving me a bit of an insight as to what's going on. Interesting. Okay. All right, okay. Okay, so just saying again to split the deck and restack. Okay, it's good. So let's go in with the Judgment card right now in the upright position. And what we have is the King of Pentacles in the upright position. So to me, this is representing the masculine energy. The King of Pentacles would be like in the material world, like i.e. here. And thankfully he's in the upright position. So this is giving me like the defender. Getting up and, realizing that something needs to be done. Really getting this kind of grounded energy. And with the 3 of Cups, can you, let's see what this is about. We have got the Ace of Cups. This is giving in that healing energy. And remember what I said about the chalice, the womb, the sacred womb. Again, it's giving me the King of Pentacles would be almost giving me the descendant of like the Knights Templar. The energy of those warriors are coming through in this timeline. The return. And then the next card that we have got. It's a very, very overwhelming emotional energy here. Let's go in with the 2 of Swords in the upright position, and we have got the King of Cups in the reverse. So you're going to, as I said, you're going to get those ones who are going to be like, and as I was saying, this is a very overwhelming emotional energy. Again, he's looking in this direction. If he was looking this way, it'd be like he doesn't want to know. But it's like he's looking this way. Again, all pointing to the Judgment card. For the Page of Wands in the reverse, we do have the 9 of Wands. Again, another card. If you notice, all of these cards, their heads are turning towards the Judgment card. And yes, we've been through fucking hell. Just going to lay it straight up, raw, unfiltered. been through fucking hell. And this is now the time to rise up. And there are those warriors who will never give up until their last dying breath in order to help to restore, protect, defend, and to help to bring back this balance. Really, and I'm also hearing like the wounded warriors are being healed. And then the next card for, just hold the deck this way. So for the Page of Swords, getting this kind of like discovery, researching and seeing what's really happening. The next card that we have got for the Page of Swords is the Star card. There's a interesting, I mean, you've got a major arcana here, you've got a major arcana here, and they are all pointing, all of their heads, apart from this one, because this is like the Decider card, they're all pointing to the Judgment card. And then the card underneath the bottom of the clarifying deck is the Three Cups in the reverse. Really getting that kind of as above, so below. And if you notice, which is quite interesting, okay, all right, hold on. You see how they're shaped? Okay, so that would be like an upward triangle, which would be like the masculine sign. And then with it being in the reverse, you've got the downward triangle, which is giving me the feminine energy, the water sign, but it's in the reverse. And if you add these two together, you get a union going on here, the Six of Cups, soulmate energy. And this is what needs to be worked upon right now. All right? So to help to restore the suppressed divine feminine. Don't really need to see the Emperor because he's already here. Remember, he's distorted, right? So let's get in and go in with this inner temple oracle. Really interesting. Okay, so let's close out this reading. So I'm going to pull from here, the middle card. And we've got freedom. You've got two choices. You're either going to stay trapped in the system and be falling asleep and be like a freaking coward, fear because you've consented to live in, suppressed, controlled, told what to do, or you're going to fight for your freedom until your last dying breath. And it's right here. Interesting to see that they're both water, a lot of water around here as well. The next card that I've got, I'm going to pull from here, we've got Inner Summer. I'm telling you, it really feels as if something is going to be happening in the summer energy, the summer month this year. I'm also getting this feeling of this inner bloom, this inner glow. This is a feeling of this activation that's really coming in here. Whatever was sort of iced over and cold is beginning to, burn through. And again, it's giving me what's going on with the Schumann resonance. The next card, the next message that wants to come through, plenty, abundance, no more living in scarcity and fear, like how the system wants you to be. Hand to mouth, how many bills do you have to pay before you even think about eating or heating? Right? How much longer, how many times, how much, suppression is it going to take for people to think, fuck this, I've had enough. Going to have to sort of do something about it or just stay suppressed forever, which is what they're hoping that you'll do. But no, this is about being in abundance. This is, I'm not just saying about the material wealth, money and shit, because your health is your wealth. How you feel is, you can't put money on that. The next card that wants to come through, destiny. Life is destiny. This is destined to happen. It has to happen this way. The old system must fall. The old system must be destroyed in order to create the new beginning, the new life that we have all been, told it's happening. It's happening right now. It's been prophesied. It's happening. And the fall of the dark ones is happening as well, because those bastards cannot be a part of the new energy, the new system, the new reality that we're all facing, that we want for ourselves. They can't come. They've done too much damage. And then the last card that we've got is masculine. And there you go. It circles right back round to the distorted masculine becoming whole and healed again through the love, divine sacred love of the divine feminine. And then we have got, and again, it's giving me Sophia. And then we have got, there's the healing. As I was just saying about this healing chamber. Well, not healing, because it says chamber of healing, but the healing coming through. So this is very powerful. It's really giving me like what's going on now. And I would say that this is on this current timeline that we're facing right now. So that's what I've got for you guys. I hope that this is giving you some kind of confirmation. As I always said, take what resonates from this reading and get rid of the rest. Okay? Take care of yourselves. Don't forget to keep grounding, stay neutral, stay balanced, stay healthy within yourself. Do not live in fear, and for God's sake, do not consent to any shit that they want to try to suppress on you. And I will see you guys in the next reading. Take care.